Good afternoon. I'm up here at the Columbia Gorge between Oregon and Washington, which is really a very incredibly beautiful place. One of my favorites in the Pacific Northwest. It's where the Columbia River crosses through the Cascade Mountain Range. And one of the most spectacular parts about this are the waterfalls. There are dozens of really lovely falls here. Many of them can be reached with hikes of various lengths, but at this point I'm going to be trying to do what I would call the lazy person's guide to the Columbia Gorge Waterfalls. I'm going to be showing a few of them that can give you some really nice photo opportunities while also not being that much of an exertion, that there'd be either no real hike at all, or at most maybe a quarter of a mile at the longest. So come along with me and we'll see what we can find. My first stop here is at Guy Talbot State Park, and as you can see over my shoulder, it's the site of Latourell Falls, which is the westernmost waterfall on the whole Columbia Gorge. Now this is a waterfall you can see from the parking lot, but there are obviously better views otherwise. But the main distinctive feature of it, as you can see on both sides of the top of the falls, is that there are big patches of lichen, and I'm about to take a shot from here, but then I will go down further to explore. Okay, so this is going to be my first shot here. I'm going to be trying to get in both the waterfall itself and that patch of lichen over there. I'm shooting manual with auto ISO because that way I can control both the shutter speed, which I want to be relatively slow to get the silky effect, and the f-stop. I'm shooting at f11. I see right now it's just be about a quarter of a second, and we'll see what result we get from this. Here we have the waterfall itself. I'm about 2/3 the way down the trail here, and I'm framing this shot here so that I can get the opening through the trees, and one that will include that huge patch of lichen on the right side. So I'm going to try this vertical and horizontal, and we'll see which one comes out the best in a moment. Now I'm down at the base of the falls, and I'm trying to get a shot without people in it. This is the challenge in most of these, that they are very popular. I also hope you can hear my voice because it's pretty loud here. So this is the shot from the bottom. I'm going to try to get some pictures here because anything any further I'm going to get hit with spray. And if these come out, here they are. I'm almost back at the parking lot here, and believe it or not, that was the most exertion you're going to be getting on this whole tour. And it wasn't that hard or that long, but like I said, this is the lazy person's guide to Columbia Gorge Waterfalls, and it needs to live up to that. So, on to the next location. Here we are at the second stop, which is, as you can see, you can read up there, which I'm sure you can, Wahkeena Falls. Actually more like Wahkeena Falls and Wahkeena Creek, as you'll see in a few moments. Here we are looking at Wahkeena Creek, and if you go up further, you'll see there's the falls higher up there. There's a little bit in the middle, and then there's more that goes all the way up to the top. Now, you can, as you know, get up there through a trail or climbing the rocks to get to that central part of the falls. There's really no great angle on the falls as a whole from up there. So I find it more interesting to try to capture a leading line of the creek up to the top and see what we get there. I'm now here at Multnomah Falls, which is the largest waterfall in Oregon. It's also almost a state landmark. This is one place where you're not going to be having much exertion on your body, but you're probably going to have some exertion on your pocketbook, because this is the only place along here where you have to pay for parking. That's $20 per hour. And also, on the heaviest parts of the year, which start tomorrow, you also have to have an advance reservation, which does not guarantee you a parking space. I hope you like that. But at any rate, here's this. I am going to go take some pictures of it now. With Multnomah, as with Latourell, you have two different options for compositions. The first is from the parking lot here, going in closer than this, obviously. After which, I'm now going to go up to the plunge pool and get some other compositions with different challenges. Well, here is the lower part of the falls. Now, the problem here is twofold. First of all, is that as you notice, there are two levels of the fall, but they aren't perfectly in alignment with each other. So you can either have the lower part settle or the upper part, but not both. The second thing is, you undoubtedly have noticed, is the bridge, which, unless you come up at the very end of a day on a particularly rainy day, probably off season as well, you're going to have everyone and their dog up there. So you're either going to have to be doing a whole lot of interesting remove work in Photoshop, which I have done at times too, or you can decide, as I like doing, just to concentrate on the lower part and leave that bridge out of there in the first place. I've done all these approaches, and here they are. Well, we're coming to an end today at Horsetail Falls, which is one of my favorite waterfalls in the gorge. Now, this is a waterfall that, frankly, is hard to photograph at times. proper scale. Because at times it looks like it's a relatively small plunge there, but it's really quite tall. It helps at times if you can get people in the frame, which we seem to be getting right now anyway, to see how big it actually is. Now, back in 2017, when the Eagle Creek fire hit this area, I must admit I was particularly concerned about this waterfall. It seemed to be in a location that was very close to where the center of the wildfire was. And in fact, if you look up at the ridge, you can see a lot of burned out trees up top there. So it came very close to here, but fortunately it didn't actually burn this area. I was relieved to see that. This is a fall that can handle lots of different angles from either side, from the viewpoints surrounding it. You can get good effects from the trees framing it at various angles, and it especially looks good in autumn when the leaves here change color. Well, that's about it for this trip. Now, I will grant there are lots of other waterfalls that are quite spectacular in this area, and I may take you along for one of them or more some other time. But this was supposed to be the lazy person's guide to Columbia Gorge Waterfalls, and that's what we got here. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope if you live in this area, you can do this, or traveling in this area, you can take this sort of a trip yourself and enjoy what you find. Anyway, thanks for coming along, and I'll see you next time. Bye.